Welcome back to a new video. In this one, I'm going to show you how Move works in control mode. If you want to know how Move works in standalone, I've already made a deep dive guide about that, so check the links at the description or the cards at the top. Now, this guide is organized into chapters. You can easily navigate to a specific section by using the description or the timeline of this video. If you like what I do, please like and subscribe. And this channel is supported by viewers only. If you want to buy me a coffee to say thanks and help the channel keep going on, you can. You have links at the description for PayPal, YouTube Thanks, and Patreon. Okay, so if you want to connect Move to your Ableton DAW, you need to connect it through USB. And also you need to go into control mode. Go to Shift, just press and hold, and then go into settings. And right here, you will see something that says Control Live. Once you press it, it will go into Control Live mode. Now, the control mode of Move is very similar to the standalone, so I strongly suggest for you to learn how to use it in standalone first. Like I said before, check the links or the cards and you will find the deep dive I made for the standalone. I will continue and assume that you are familiar to use the Move standalone mode. And okay, so as for any controller, you have a lot of global controls like play or just move forwards or backwards or undo and redo. So let's just cover all of those. If you go to here and you play, you will be playing back. And if you press play again, you will stop the playback. And it works a little bit different, of course, when you are in session. If I go here and just play it back, it will play back. If I press the play again, it will pause the playback. We can notice that we have the playhead right here. If I press again, it will start from the beginning. But what you can do, you can restart the whole playback, including the clips when they are playing back, by holding the shift and pressing the play. Notice it's just not pausing, it's just starting from the beginning. Now, the main volume is going to be the main volume for the main bus, not your track. And of course, I'm going to show you how to do that in a minute, but remember that this one will only control your main bus. You can change between the note and session mode by using the note session. Notice that we go into session and we see all the clips that we can play back. And then when we go to the notes mode, all of this are going to be the tracks. I'm going to show you how all the different tracks work in a minute. But first, you have your undo and then you have your redo. So if I maybe go here and do something, maybe add just a tiny little clip. With this one, we can just undo. And to redo, we need to do shift and then go to the undo and redo that clip. In this case, I'm just going to delete that clip. To select tracks, we can do it with the track button. I'm going to go here and just select the first, the second, the third track, the fourth track. And just like on standalone, we only can select 4 tracks at a time. I'm going to show you how to select more in a minute. But first, the other most common controls are just the metronome. If I go shift and hold the shift, this one is the metronome. You can turn it on and turn it off. Then the 4 is going to be the tempo. If I click on that one, notice that now we can change the tempo with the main encoder. I'm going to hold the shift, and while holding the shift, you can go by small amounts. Fine. Okay, so let me go back to 120. Then again, by holding shift, we have the all options. You have the note, and this one is the key and scale. If I go there, you can select in key, or you can use the chromatic mode. And just like, this works the same as the standalone mode, you can just change the root and then change the scale. What else? Well, you have the full velocity. If I hold the shift, you can toggle the full velocity on or full velocity off. If you don't know what this means, is that the pads are just super velocity sensitive. So if you want to enable full velocity, you go here and now you will be always playing 127. For now, I'm just going to turn it off. And the last thing is going to be the repeat. If I go to shift and enable the repeat, we can just press a pad and we can repeat it. Now, we don't have the ARP function that we get on standalone. We just don't get it. We can only use the repeat. This, again, applies also to the other tracks where you have instruments. So if I go to repeat, I'm going to change it to 1/16. And if I play it, we get it. And again, to turn it off, just hold the shift and just turn off the repeat. Now, these are the most basic actions that you can use, most basic functions. Let's talk a little bit more about the specific controls. As you know, on standalone, we can only use 4 tracks. Right here, it's pretty much the same idea, but we can select more tracks if we wanted to. It's a little bit different. So if I go here, this one will be the first track. Then we toggle to the second, the third, and the fourth. How can it go to the other ones? You know, there's no easy way. You need to use your mouse. If you are in notes mode, you need to select the next track. And once you select the next track, the fifth, you can go through the fifth, the sixth, and so on. Still, notice that you cannot select the tracks that are out of the ring. So the notes mode, the mode that we are using right now, it's just not very optimized to navigate the tracks. That's something that we can handle in the session mode. On session, you can use the arrows. When you use the arrows, you can change the ring. And now, since you moved the ring, then and only then you can go into notes mode and then maybe select the first one with the mouse, and then you will be able to go to the different tracks, to 4 different tracks. If you want to select tracks, the session mode works much better because again, you can just move the ring and you can also move it up or down when you want to trigger your clips. Also, notice that in session mode, the steps right here, they have a different color. Well, these ones are the tracks, the color of the tracks. And you can select 8. Notice the first one, it's just blue and then it just has an empty color and on and on and on and on. So here you can just go to a track and select it. And again, you can do up to 8. You just need to tap the color of the track. Now then at the right of each track, you have this empty button. Well, this one is the stop. Notice that it will stop all the clips. Also, when you select a track, it doesn't mean that you're arming that track. If you have Ableton configured to arm the track when you select, well, you know, that's going to work. But by default, you just don't get it. And here, what you can do to arm a track when you select it is just go to that track and just double tap the button. This is just one way of doing it. So let me just show you a couple more tricks. When you go to a track, if you want to change the volume, you will need to hold the step of that track and then just hold it and then go to the actual volume. You will be able to handle the volume of that track. This also works when you're in notes mode. Let's say that I go there, we are on this track. If I double tap the first one, I'm arming the first or arming the second one. And if I hold that track, I can move the volume up or down. So yeah, you can do it in notes mode or you can do it in session mode. What happens with the muting and unmuting? Well, again, this one works the same way. I'm gonna hold the mute, just hold it and just tap the track that I want to mute. It works the same on notes mode. In notes mode, I'm gonna hold the mute and then just tap the track and it will just mute the tracks. Fine. So what else can we do? Well, we can duplicate the track if we want to. I will go to the sessions mode. Maybe I'm going to duplicate the first one, the drum rack. I'm going to hold the copy, this one. I'm going to hold it, and then I'm going to just tap the track, and this will duplicate the track. If you don't want it, well, it's just the same idea. You can go to the X, just hold it, and then select the track that you want to delete. This also works in notes mode. I can go to copy, hold it, and then I'm going to duplicate the first track. And to delete it, hold the X and just delete that track. Like I said before, you can just double tap to arm the track, but you also have a different method. If you go to rec, you press and hold, you just don't release, you tap the track and notice that it will just arm it. Same thing, if I go into session, I hold the track and then I just tap and it will just arm that track. Now in notes mode, you have 3 different sub modes. And I know it sounds confusing, but it's kind of the same way it works on standalone. You have the drum rack. If I go to the first one, I'm going to go to notes mode. You have the drum rack right here, and we can play all the different 16 sounds. Then we have the instrument. In this case, I guess I have a synthesizer. So that's one of the modes, the drum rack and the instrument. So let me go to the second track. I have something prepared. This is the third mode, is the slicing mode. So this works when you have a simpler on slice. And how you get it right here is that you can play each slice. So this is, again, the third mode. So on each mode, the drum, the notes, and the slicing, you can and you cannot do a few things. I'm going to show you much later what you can do. First, I want to talk about recording. And okay, so let's talk about recording. And this is kind of simple. If you want to enable the metronome, go here to Shift and just toggle the metronome in. If you have the count in, when you do record, it will count in an amount of bars. In this case, I'm going to select 1. Now to record a clip, if you want, you can go into sessions mode and just trigger that clip and select the clip. In this case, I'm on the first one. And to record, you just need to press rec. And remember how it works in standalone. Until you press rec again or play, it will not stop recording. I'm going to press rec. 1, 2, 3, 4. And if I stop it, we get 2 bars pretty much of nothing. That's fine. So that's it. You just rec, and then you just stop it and keep recording. So if the clip is a little bit off because it's just not quantized, you can go here and do Shift, and you can press the quantize, and it will just quantize that clip. There we go. Now still, again, if you go to Shift and then you go into the workflow, you can select how much you want for it to quantize. So yeah, you can decide the quantization just like you would on standalone. So let me just go back. So what if you don't like the take? Now undo, what we'll do when you record a clip is to delete steps. It's kind of weird, but it's just the way it works. I'm gonna go here and just start pressing it, and notice that it will just first make it short. So now we have 1 bar. If I press it again, it's deleting the last snare, then the kick, then snare, and so on and on and on. Still, if you want to redo, Shift, and then you just press redo. So what if you want to delete the whole thing, the whole clip? In that case, you go to the X and then kaboom, the clip is gone. Just like in standalone mode, you can use the loop mode just to define the length of the clip. It works a little bit different here because you can see on the screen what's going on when you go into loop mode. I'm not playing, I'm not recording, I'm still on the drum kit. I'm going to go here and just enable the loop mode. As soon as you do so, notice it will create a clip and start playing back. Here it works just like in standalone mode. You can go to the main encoder and just change the amount of bars that you want to use. I'm gonna say just 3 bars. If I start, if I stop playing, that's fine, it's gonna stop. But if you want to record something now, it will only record 3 bars. And maybe the 3 is just too much. I'm gonna go to 2. So, and then it will just, stop when we have 2 bars. If you want to quantize, remember you can always go to quantize. Fine. In loop mode, you can hold the Shift and just move the encoder, and instead of going by 16ths or by bar, actually, you can just shift the amount of steps. So it's going to be 1 bar and then 14 steps. Cool. So, okay, I'm going to leave it on just 2 bars. Now always here, and for now I'm going to turn off the metronome. When you start recording again, it will just count in, but you can overdub. Right? And that's it. It will always overdub. Fun. So, what else can we do? Now, once you have something recorded, let's say that I don't like the hats, you can go to here, and we are in loop mode, but it doesn't matter right now. I can go here to delete, press and hold, and then I want to delete the, I want to delete the hats. So when you press the hats, it will delete the hats alone. Let's say I want to get rid of the snare is gone, and the kick is gone as well. Now, another thing that we can do in notes mode, it doesn't work right here in session mode. It only works in note mode. If I press the copy, it will just copy the clip and paste it at the bottom. Right, I'm going to do it again. There we go. It's just the same clip. All right, so I'm going to undo and then just maybe go back to the first clip, and I'm just going to play it back. So what if I want to, duplicate? We can, and this works the same way on standalone. We can go, and for now I'm going to stop it. We can go to Shift, and then we can go to the step 15, which is double the loop, and it will just double the loop. So we had 2 bars, now we have a 4. Just like in standalone, in loop mode, make sure that this one is just kind of a flashing. Now we have 4 bars, right? So at the bottom, the steps will let you know how many bars you have and where the playback currently is. Second bar, third, and then fourth. So if at some point, of course, you want to go to a bar, you can go there manually or go to the first one. Notice that you're kind of selecting the different bars. So what is the point of, just selecting a bar? Because on the screen, I can just, see that we have all the 4 different bars. Well, this is kind of useful because you can double tap the bar. And if I'm going to do it right now, it's just double tapping. And since we are in loop mode, we are just looping the first bar. If I play it back, we can see it on the screen. It's just not going to the other ones. If I want the other bar, maybe the second bar, I can double tap that one, and instead of playing the first bar, it's going to play the second. And let me just make this a little bit bigger so we can see it. So it's just putting the looping on the second bar. Same thing if I go to the third, and same if I go to the fourth. So what if we want to loop more than just 1 bar? Maybe I want to just loop 2 instead of the 4. Well, in that case, you will need to select a range. You just press the start of or the beginning of the bar and then the end of the bar. And notice it's giving me 3 bars, and the last one is just completely out. So yeah, you just select a range. Let's say again, let's do it again. Let's say I want the second, the third, and the fourth. I'm going to select second, hold it, and then go to the fourth, and then we get 2, 3, and 4. Okay, so live recording is just one way of recording. Then the other method, and for now I'm gonna maybe delete the clip, and you can do so by just tapping on the delete. The other way is by just sequencing, right? Not real-time recording. Just like we would do again on standalone out of the loop, you have all the 16 steps of the first bar. So if I want to add a kick, I can select that one and then just go here. It will create a clip and play it for me, and then I can add a kick and use it like a step sequencer. If I go to snare, same deal than before. If I want some hats, I can go here and just tap the hats. Of course, all of this works the same way. Everything that we are doing right now works exactly the same if we go to the notes or instrument mode. If you want to remove notes, then you just need to tap the steps and it will remove the notes. Okay, so I want to make it bigger, and if you remember, just going to Shift, hold it, and you go to duplicate, and it will just double the clip. So now we have 4 bars of the same thing. Okay. So we know that when we go to loop mode, we go to a bar and then we double tap and we lock into that very specific bar. I'm gonna go back to all 4 different bars. So what happens if we are not in loop mode and I want to edit my sequence? Right now, I can only see the first bar of my sequence. Well, right here at the top, you can see where you are. If I go to the right and the left, you just can press it and it will take you to the bar 2. Now we see the bar 2, then the 3, and then the 4th. So if we wanted to, edit maybe the 1 with something, we go manually to the 1, and then we just add something there. And if I go again to the 2, we just add the different steps that we want, and on and on and on. So yeah, as you can see, it's just very simple to use, especially if you know how Move standalone works. Now, if you're wondering how this would work on an instrument, I'm going to go there, why not? And I'm not in loop mode. So if we want to add a note, just go to that step. It will, create a clip, but then just maybe hold the note and go there. You can, of course, do many notes if you must. If I add the step, notice that we have many. Let me just adjust the grid. There we go. There we go. We can see it now. And I'm going to go to the other mode. Let me go here. I'm going to select, instead of chromatic, I'm going to select in key. Fine. So again, if I want to delete a note, I can go hold it and just delete that node, and then we can maybe add a few more nodes. And we just, again, go on a step-by-step adding nodes. Now, this is also the way we edit steps. We have a few more functions that we can use. I'm going to show you in a second. But again, if you go to a sequence or a clip, well, you have it right here. You can see what you're doing on that step, what you're doing on this one, and then you just can go and maybe edit the different nodes. Alright, so when you have a clip, you can edit the steps. First, I'm gonna maybe go to an instrument, and I'm gonna just add a couple of nodes. I'm gonna add one there. I'm gonna go to this one and add 3 nodes. And maybe I'm gonna go here and just add, I don't know, 1 node. So let me show you the grid so we can see what we are doing. So the first thing is by editing the velocity, I can go here, hold that step, and then move the main volume, and notice it says velocity. So we can just edit the velocity for that step. If I go to the other ones, we could do it so, but we do it to all the nodes within that step. Then we can edit the node length by using the main encoder. I'm going to hold the step and then just move the encoder and make the steps longer. There we go. I'm going to hold the step again, and then we can use the right and the left to nudge the steps or the nodes. Another thing that you can do is that by holding again, hold and then go to plus or minus, and this will transpose by 1 semitone. If you press and hold, it will transpose by an octave. Let's say I want to copy whatever is that we have on this step. Well, I need to hold the copy. I need to go to the step and then just tap it. Now, once I release it, I can paste it. So I will paste those steps on this one. Now in loop mode, we can also copy whatever is that we have right here, all the nodes that we have on this bar. I'm going to go to loop mode, and if I make the bar longer, we will be, maybe 2 bars. We have a longer bar, but we can see both bars here. I can hold the copy the first bar, release it, and then paste it on the second bar. Before we discuss automation, we need to know how to work with macros and the wheel when we are on a track. So when we are on a track, the encoder will just toggle or go through the different devices that you have on that track. In the case of this track, I guess I have a rack. So notice that when I scroll, I go through the different elements of that rack. When you select an effects or maybe an instrument, you can, with the encoders, select whatever is that you have mapped to the macros, and you can just modify the different values with the macros. Right, so again, this works the same way it works on standalone. Another thing that you can do is to fold and unfold racks. So when you select the whole rack, if you tap it, it will fold and unfold. Also, when you select a device, you can go to mute, hold the mute, and then press the wheel to deactivate the device. Now this works for pretty much everything that you have selected on your screen. So let's say that I want to go maybe to the kick, right? So I will select that device. I'm going to go to hold the mute, and then just tap it. And I'm just disabling that device and not the whole rack. Right, so we can use this device to record automation just like we would do with any other controller. Now, it works a little bit different than in standalone mode. On control mode, we cannot record automation in real time directly to the clips. So I'm going to go here and just start recording. And when I do so, I'm going to go here and to show you that we can maybe record the automation of the filter, the oscillator, and everything else. So we can see that we are, getting that automation. Now on session, we can record automation, but it's a per step type of deal. I will go to this instrument. It doesn't matter. You can use it with whatever. It doesn't matter. I'm going to go here and just add a node, a different node, and then I don't know, a different node. Now we have something. So what I want to do, I want to go here and maybe I want to move or modulate something about that step. And there we go. We can hear that modulation. Or automation in this case. Maybe I can go here to this one, record something, and I can go to the width. And there we go. Just like in standalone, we can see that those ones have some automation. Hold the mute and tap the knob to mute or to turn off that automation. Still, you're not removing the automation. That automation still exists. If you want to delete it, go to delete, hold it, and then just tap the encoders to delete the automation. All right, so session mode, it's just pretty easy. I feel like I don't need to explain a lot. On the screen, you have, a lot of tracks and you have all the different clips and they will all show up right here. The green row, this one, will be the main launch. So that's going to be the scene. So if I play it, it will play that scene and, you can go to the next one and on and on and on. You can use the plus and the minus to move up and down, the ring. And then you can go to the left and the right to move the ring as well. What if you want to delete clips? Well, you go to the delete, press and hold, tap the clip, and then just delete the clip. Let's say that you want to copy. Well, it's the same deal. You go to copy, hold it, then touch it. It will copy, and then you can release, and then you just tap to paste it. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to hold copy, maybe copy this one. I'm going to release it, and then paste it. Now also, let's say that I'm just launching the second scene. So if you want to select a clip without launching it, because if I want to go to this one, I'm selecting it, I'm launching that clip. Maybe I just don't want to do that. I want to select it. Well, you can do that by holding shift. If I hold the shift and tap the clip, it's selecting that clip without launching that clip. And okay, so to finish, as we discussed previously, you have the different sub-modes. You have the drum, the instrument, and the slice. And depending on the mode you are, you can or you cannot do some things. First, I'm going to go to maybe a drum mode, the drum layout. We get the drum. Maybe this one is just too loud. Well, when that one is selected and you go to the volume, now the volume is just going to be the master volume. But if I hold that pad and I'm holding it, I'm going down in the volume of that pad, of that slice. So if I go all the way down and I play the kick, whatever this is, and then I go to this one, it's, super low in volume. And it's a little bit confusing because if I go to this one and go to the volume, it says chain volume, but then if I go here and move it, it says volume. Let me just normalize all of this. There you go. So yeah, hold the pad, use the volume, and you change the volume of that pad. Okay, what else can we do? Let's say that if I want to mute a pad, I'm going to mute, hold it, and then just mute the pad, and you can mute all the pads you want. Let me just enable them back. If I want to delete a pad, I'm going to hold it, delete, and if I tap the pad, that is just deleting the pads. If you repent, you can use the undo and just get them back. So let's say that I want this one and I want to copy this one and just paste it on the empty pad. Well, it works the same way. I will go to copy, hold, and then I will copy that one and then paste it right there. And then we have the same sample. What if you have more than 16 sounds? Well, going up and down, it changes by octaves. So notice that we are getting it. If I go up, we get the other ones. Cool. So what else? If I go to the instrument sub mode, on this one, we kind of already discussed what we can do. One thing I didn't show you is that you can transpose by using the plus and the minus. But there's one more thing here. If I hold the shift and I do the same, I'm going to hold it. Notice that we are shifting the scale. And it's still, the same, but we are kind of shifting where the root is. So, yeah. And you can, of course, do shift and minus to go the other way. So I'm going to go back to normal. And then you have the final mode, which is the slicing mode. And I have a slice right here on the second track. And this, it's just a slice. It's a sample where we have different slices. And then we can just play the different parts. Now, if you have a lot of chops, and I'm going to chop them right now, and you will see them appear right here. At some point, they will show, and let me just do a couple more. There we go. They will go in fours. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it will just go to the next one. Still, if you have a lot of different chops, well, in that case, you can go to Shift and then up and down, and it will just go up and down through all the different chops. Just like, when you are working on drum mode and you go just Shift up and shift down. Oh, one thing that I didn't show you about the drum mode, that if you go up and down, it goes by octaves. But if you hold the Shift, you can go by one row. Cool. Okay, so before we finish, let me give you one more advice. Maybe you want Move just to use it as a controller. Well, as you can see, it works. You can do a lot of things. Still, it's a little bit limited in what you can do on the control mode as a controller. This thing really shines when you use it as a standalone mode. This is what you're really paying for when you buy this device. The control mode is just an extra thing. If you're watching this video because maybe you want to get Push instead of this one, but this one is cheaper, no, get Push. Push is just fantastic. You cannot beat Push in terms of a controller for at the very least Ableton. I got a Push 3. I will create a full video on that one. And it's just, you cannot beat it. You have a million things. But, that's just my opinion. At the end of the day, I guess you can do whatever you want with your money. And talking about that, if you like what I do, please like and subscribe. And this channel is supported by viewers only. If you want to buy me a coffee just to say thanks and help the channel keep going on, you can. Go to the links at the description, and you have links for PayPal, YouTube Thanks, and Patreon.